as long as I think the minimum is 3.
Okay, and then do you want this to be a weather alert?
Yeah.
Yeah, weather alert.
Yeah, why not? Spice it up, lords. God, I feel like I have like a freaking hair. Hi there, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Bill Bellis. Another mild day, even with the cloud cover, and not to mention about an hour where we had some light rain and drizzle. Not much measurable rain, mostly trace amounts to a few hundredths of an inch out in the western foothills. We still crack 60 degrees here. Check out the December calendar. Today was our 19th consecutive day. Look at all the red on the map here indicating high temperatures above average. So that's 19 straight days in that category. We've had an average high just over 65 this December, an average low just under 46. Only a trace of rain. We're going to add a little bit more to that here tomorrow through Friday, and we'll dive into that. So you crunch those two numbers out. We have an average temperature now at 55.6 degrees. So we're warmer than December of 2023 by almost 2.5 degrees. Even if we had highs in the low 30s the last 2 days of the month and nights in the single digits, we would still go down as the warmest December on record. That's how insanely warm it has been. All right, let's dive into really what's important here, and that's the incoming storm system. We had a little disturbance right there that worked on through between 3 and 5 p.m. Again, just some trace amounts, a few hundredths of an inch. Here is the main event with the snow finally beginning in the Sierra up and including the Lake Tahoe area. So a few sprinkles overnight tonight. Here's the futurecast. This is at 6 a.m. Models have been pretty consistent, bringing at least a brief shot of some rain early tomorrow morning, mainly between 7 and 9 a.m. That'll lift, and then we sit and we wait for that front to cross the Sierra and push all this moisture off the spring mountains and down into the valley. I don't think that's really going to happen until the late afternoon hours. And then this line of showers, maybe with some embedded thunder, will work in through the evening hours. And a lot of the models have us nice and dry to start Christmas Day. But we have another system, the colder upper level part of the system, that could tack on a few more drops of rain here Thursday afternoon, Christmas afternoon, and again on Friday. Looking at a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of rain, but notice the models, especially close and in and around the higher elevations, could be looking at in excess of an inch of rain. That's why the flood watch, not a flash flood watch. Again, this flood watch means that areas that do flood could flood here, but we're not looking at any flash flooding due to the general steady amount of rain. Here's a look at the drought monitor. Thanks to the 5th wettest November on record, most of southern Nevada, we are almost drought free except for the northeastern part of Clark County. We're in great shape, especially if we can tack on another 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of rain. We're almost at 5 inches here in 2025, and we're above average by just over 9/10. And we were in a major hole this time last year at almost 2 inches below normal. Let's talk snow, and there will be lots of it. We've got winter storm warnings up and down the Sierra, 2 to 5 feet of snow. No advisories locally because our snow levels are going to be so high, at least initially, above 9,500 feet. But we do have winter weather advisories here in Washington County. That does include Bryan Head. That could pick up about 1.5 feet of snow between tomorrow and Friday. About the same here in Mount Charleston, but that's going to be Charleston Peak. So most of the significant snow locally will stay on the highest peaks here. And look at these insane numbers. Almost 70 inches of snow could fall between Kirkwood and Mammoth here over the next 3 days. We got to get these storms into the upper Colorado River Basin. This is the 3rd lowest snowpack since records started being kept at only 57% in December, this time last year at 84%. So the forecast for tonight, cloud cover, just a few sprinkles out there, lows in the low 50s. Despite some showers in the morning, again late, we're still going to get temperatures into the mid-60s with those southeast winds at 10 to 20 and occasional gusts up around 25 or 30. So breezy with periods of showers tomorrow. Morning hours on Thursday and Friday dry with a 40% chance of some afternoon showers, and things finally start to feel like it should for this time of the year this weekend with highs in the mid-50s. Nights will be in the low 40s, but I think on the edges of town we'll get some temperatures in the upper 30s. And as we get into the following week, as we get close to New Year's, not too bad with temperatures back in the 60s. All right, guys, 417.